Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to show you where to find your cockpit cover for a Bayliner 285 and all Bayliners for that fact. The right company to get it, the best quality, the price is right, and I'm going to show you once you receive it how to install it and what to do if you need to do alterations to it. So stay tuned and here we go. All right, you just want to go in as far as a little mark with the tape. All right, the other thing is I use a countersink, so that way when you screw in the snap, you don't want to crack the fiberglass around the hole there. So you do a countersink on all the holes before you put the snap on. All right, I just finished installing the two first snap in the center. You must install the two first in the center with the center seam of the fabric in the center of the window in the front. Now the next one we're going to do is the two center snaps. They're already here. So all we have to do is line up the seam here and mark these two on the fabric so we can put the snaps on the fabric and then tie down these two here. And then we'll go on to the next step. All right, we just finished putting the first two snaps here. And then you have to go and do the two ends. So we're gonna do this one next with that little special tool. And we're just gonna push it right through the fabric. But before you do that, we have to make sure that we stretch this side over so we have no slack in between. And then put it through that push pin there. Once we put it there, then we put the snap. Here we have the push pins. This is important. So we're going to snap this on one of the existing snaps. Clip it in there. And then we're going to take off. And you see the pin right there. And now we're going to stretch the corner here and bring it over the push pin there. Make sure the push pin is in the center of the space there, and that's it. You have it right there. Now what I do, just to make sure that I have everything correctly, I do a little mark with a Sharpie all the way around the push pin. You don't really have to, because you'll see the hole there. It makes it easy to find the hole when you see that little black mark on there. Okay, next thing we do is we take it off. Okay, and you have the mark right there. All right, and then next, we get this tool here that's going to make the hole on the fabric, line it up with the little hole, and then just press. And I turn it a little bit, just make sure it cuts well. And you can see the cut right there. And now we're ready to put the snap on. Okay, this little thing that comes with the push pin, you just put it back on there. You don't want to get stabbed with it, and then just push it sideways and it comes off. And it's ready for the next one. And then here, we already opened the hole with the special tool there. Just press this one through. You take off the little excess there. And then the other end of the snap. Right? And now, you just put this in here again. Make sure everything is nice and lined up. Just make sure it's lined up. Right, and then just push together until it clicks. Remember, once you adjust this to the right position, where when you finish taking this tool off, the snap has to be tight. You cannot spin it. And I'll show you that next. Let's take the tool off. There we go. And yeah, these things come off all the time. You have to be putting it back on. You see, it doesn't spin. This little part here has to be tight, no spinning. Now we're ready to snap this one where it goes. And there we go. And now the thing we're going to do is what we just did. We're going to repeat, who knows, 50, 60, 80 times. And I'm not going to show you each and every one of them because it's going to get really tiring and and boring. So that's the way we do that. So I'll show you a general after we finish. And so far, that's the only thing. You have to adjust this properly where those things don't spin. The other thing is, when you have the first snap on here and you're going to put the corner snap, make sure that this is snapping like that and not sagging. So that way when you put it there, it's going to stay nice and tight. All right, we'll go to the next step now. All right, on this particular one here, we only have one snap that was left there originally. The other two came off, which I'm going to fix there later on. I have to put some fiberglass or gel coating on this and cover. But what we're going to do is we're going to open a new hole right here. So that way we're going to have two snaps here in this section. This one that's there now, and then we're going to add the second one here. So we're going to have to drill, make a little pilot hole, and then screw the new snap in. Again, what I showed you earlier, the blue tape with the enough space that you need. This is all you need to go in, a little tiny space like that. So you have to mark your drill bit so you won't go any deeper than that. So that's what we're going to do here now. You go slowly until you get to the edge right there. That's all you need right there. And now we're going to countersink the edge, because if you don't countersink, like I said earlier, once you put that little screw in, the edge of the fiberglass starts cracking, and that's not going to be good. So what you do is you do a little countersink, and once you screw in that screw with that little countersink, it won't crack the fiberglass outer shell there. Right? We're ready for the next one now. So first thing we're going to do is going to put a little bit of silicone in there and then put in the screw, and that's what we're going to do next. All right, we're just dabbing a little bit of the silicone. What I'm using is 4200 adhesive sealant, and I put some inside the hole and a little bit around it, so when we put in the screw, it seals up and we don't want any water to get inside there. And for some reason the silicone, when you put it on there, it acts like a lubricant. The screw goes in even much easier than without it. Okay, you just put it all the way in, it's nice and tight. And since we're ready for this side, we're going to put the first snaps on. Okay, I got you. Got to be careful, because just one slit, that's it, and you're cut. All right guys, here we're putting the snaps on the front now. The first ones we did is the first two center ones, and then we stretch this way and you pull this way, so that way everything is nice and tight on this side here. We already installed the 3 there. We have one more to go here, but before I do that one, I'm going to go ahead and do that first one there and then go in this way. It's starting to look good now. All right, right here at this little corner, you can see that the cut right there is not exact for the radar arch. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the top down completely, and then we're going to mark there around that, so we could tell them what happened there. And the shop in Washington State, they'll be able to see and correct it and make it right. Now this company who did this cover, they are really good quality covers, and the sewing and everything is done perfect, but they have no control over things like this that may be a little bit off from the manufacturer of the boat. So we're going to mark it around there, and whichever else that we need to mark, so we could have them do the cut where it's supposed to be at. And that's where we're at next. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the cover in place, and we're going to install all the snaps on corners. Like right there, from here to here is a new set of snaps. So the one in the corner there, we're going to put the end snap here, one on this side, and of course all the way around, all the corner snaps, all the end snaps, we're going to go ahead and install all of them. We're not going to worry about the middle snaps in between. because those are just to hold it down in place. But the corner ones, all the corner ones, is going to make the cover fall in place. So that way we can mark where we need to do the adjustments and get it perfect. And that's what we're going to do next. All right, the first thing we're going to do here is put these little push pins in. These little things they look like this. And what it is a push pin. It has a pin on the end, and this snaps on the snaps there. That makes it much easier to line it up. And this is what we're going to do next here, is make that little pin go through the cover. And that's what we have right there. You can see it pushing out. So now we're going to take it off, and we have our mark where we want to put that snap on. And the next thing we're going to do is going to grab this little tool here that makes a little hole perfectly where you need it at. So we're going to do that next. We put it right on that little mark that we just did. Flip it, and see right here, you have a little hole already made there. And then now we're ready to put the snap on this side here. After we did the little hole there, the mark, now we take this little thing off. I call them push pin. I don't know what they call them, but they're awesome. You need this. So make sure if you order one of these covers, make sure they give you those little pins, because that helps you align everything perfectly. See right here, we put the top part, which is the smooth end of the snap. It goes through the little hole we just made with the special tool. And then the other side of the snap goes right there. There's another tool you'll get with the cover when you order from the same people we ordered. They send you all this tool ready to do that. Now this snap here goes on the round moon. It looks like a moon. We're going to put that on there, and then on the bottom. And since we already have this already adjusted to the pressure we need, all we have to do is just put it tight until it snaps in place. Take it back off, and then you got to make sure that the snap doesn't turn. In this case, it turns a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten up a little bit more, give it a little bit more pressure, put it back on, and snap it again. There we go. Now we should have a nice tight snap on there. And there we go, that's perfect. Now let's put it in place. And this one is completely done. We'll go to the next one. All right, guys, we're back here at the boat again because we had to do some adjustment to the boat cover. In this case, we went out and bought one of these markers. They're like a white grease pencil, and we're gonna need to mark certain parts of the cover, because what we have here isn't exactly what came with the cover as a cutout. So we're gonna mark where we need the adjustments done. And like I said, in this world, nothing is ever perfect. Even though the company who did the cover, they did an awesome, perfect job with the quality of the sewing, and everything they did on there is perfect. But I have no complaints with them. It's just that in real world, something always changes on boats. Even manufacturers, sometimes they may do something one way, and for some reason they'll do something a little slightly different. And when they have a pattern, which these people do, they go by the pattern. And if something changed in the real world, then it's something that's not going to line up well. In this case, we're going to mark it, and they said that they would definitely take care of it. We'll have to send it back to them, and they'll readjust it and redo wherever we mark and fix that up. So here we go. All right, here's what we need to mark. If you notice, this little piece here, it's actually on the arch, radar arch. So we're gonna have to mark so that way they could do the cut. So they, this would miss this little corner here, and it doesn't stay on there like that. Here, the only thing here is you can see that's closer to this side than it is this side. I may mark this one here too, for them to make this opening a little bit bigger. And that's it. And then we have that bimini top support. We already marked this one here, and the zipper should be from there to there, and that's it. So we're going to mark this one next here. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna have to, let's see, mark around here. So that way, this, instead of coming at an angle like that, it's gonna come straight and then back to wherever it needs to go there. And once they cut that little piece off, this end here should come a little further down because it's caught right there. And up here, let's see if I could mark it here like that, and that's it. All right, now we got to do the other side. Okay, I think we got this side here. And on this side here, we're lucky. All right, we're done marking the discrepancy. See how it goes over this part here. We need it to go around it. And here, it's a little bit off there. And there, that mark all the way at the end there, that one was completely missing, and that means that every time we put this cover, we would have to take off that bimini support, and I don't want to do that. I just want to leave the cover on. The cover is super awesome. I love it. The last time we had it on for several days, and the cockpit of the boat was kept super clean. And usually when it rained with the other old one, we would get a puddle of water inside here by the helm, and then mildew and everything on the floor there. But with the cover on, we didn't have any water come in and no dust on the seats. I mean, everything was perfect. This is the other one we marked, and that one right there, and then the other bimini support. We get that done, and I think we're going to have a perfect cover that's going to last for many years, and it's going to protect the cockpit of the boat. All right, we repacked the cover so we can send it back to the manufacturer and have them do the adjustment that we marked the other day on the boat, and we're ready to take it to UPS and send it out. All right, we're all done here. We just dropped it off at UPS store here in Key Largo. Have my receipt, insured, just in case. And now we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait until they finish it, and we'll get it back again. Hopefully soon. All right, guys, we finally received the cockpit cover back from the manufacturer. They did the corrections that we needed to get done, and it looked awesome. So we're installing it back on again so we could try out and see how it fits. And then after that, we have to install the final snaps that we need to install everywhere around the edges, wherever we need it. And then that's it. But right now I can still use it because I do have several snaps that is working properly, so I can still put it on and then come back another day and just finish the snaps for that. But I want to show you the work that they did. They did such an awesome job, especially on the edges there, right there and here, and that one over there, that cutout there wasn't even there. So now we have that cutout there so we could zip it, and we don't have to take off the bimini top like they had it before. And here's another custom thing they did. Right here, you can see that sewn little space there. What they did is they added a piece of vinyl in the back of this, and that vinyl sits on top of this thing here. If that weren't there, it would rip through the fabric in no time with the wind and all that. And now we have that protection there, so that way it won't rip through. That's one of the things that we had added. And the other thing you can see here, that's an add-on as well. And now we could zip it there and not have it sitting back here like you had it before. Now it's nice and comfortably in its place where it's supposed to be at. And I'll show you the rest of it now. And here's the other custom adjustment that they did. You see, they put the zipper there, and then they did a cutout for that bimini support, and then we could just zip it together here and then just snap it down here. This is the other one. This one came with it originally, but this one here had to be added on, so that way I don't have to take off that support all the time to install this cover. And we're almost done here, so stay tuned for the final. Now that looks much better and easier to install with having those zippers there. All right, we installed the cover already, checked all the custom things they did to it. Everything lines up perfectly, so we're really happy the way it came out. The time since I received it first time and marked all the corrections that need to be done, sent it back to them again, and it took them 2 to 3 weeks to do all the alterations on it and send it back, then plus the time for shipping to arrive. The shipping arrival, after they sent it out, it took like about 4 to 5 days. So it took almost a little bit less than a month to get it back from them with all the corrections done and custom things that we did for it. They only charged like about $100 for the alterations, which is not bad at all, especially when you have custom stuff that I added, and it wasn't their fault. So that was a good price for that. So that's it completely. We're just going to finish with the snaps that are missing, and the whole thing is completed. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video helps everyone. And on the description, I'm going to put location, phone numbers, and everything, so you can have your order there for your Bayliner or any other boat. They do just about anything, but the Bayliner specific, they have all the patterns, they have everything they need to be able to do it from their shop all the way in Washington State, all the way opposite corner from the Florida Keys here. And but they'll get it done. So if you have a Bayliner, no problem, they have the patterns for it. All right, peace. Thank you so much for watching.
Now is a great time to like and subscribe. All you have to do is click on the subscribe button below. It's free, and you'll be part of the Keys Boating Channel family. Thanks so much for your support.